So now we have this is the code level where we're doing the model. Again, this is the code diagram for ATM app modeling. And this was the name of the system, the name of the container, and the name of the component. And we're breaking that code level into it. And again, you can take this to the class level or an area level or group of classes level. You start with something and you start breaking it down. I don't like to take it to the class level with attributes. I like to keep this more of a higher level. So here in the model, I would have some sort of transaction model. Maybe this would be a group of classes. I would have some sort of account model. I would have account holder. And you find out coming across terms we figured out when we did the domain analysis. We did the domain analysis in one of the videos as well as a system sequence. And these are tools, not necessarily you use everything, but as we get into the component level, we will be inspired for sure, or come across terminologies or concept defined in the domain model, or maybe come with new ones. If we're figuring this for the first time, we can step aside and do the domain modeling, come up with these concepts, and then come back to it. I would imagine here will be views. This is kind of serving the screens, if you will, or these are the screens with the presenter layer. You want to break it down into views and presenter, or just views and the actual UI or screens, screens or HTMLs, or WinForms. If this is WinForms, you can have some details about this, and you say, okay, this is presenters to data, and this would be WinForms. Screens would be WinForms. You have this information, a little bit of information that makes sense. I would assume they will have operation. The op UI will have different WinForms for operation, and maybe different views. And this is the kind of discussion we have here. Do we have the same or different views? And if you go into the design, or if you're building this, let the design emerge, you find out, oh, there is some sort of interface, and you can get into the details here. But at least we're defining some higher level from a class perspective. This is a group of classes with certain responsibilities. And we have this discussion as we start coding. We know more of a higher level map where things are, just a layout of this. We know that here we would need something to represent hardware, and this will be something like a printer, the screen, card reader. And again, here I'm just putting this together as this, as a group. As we go back, we find out, oh, this is too big to be a part of here. This needs to be out in a separate model. So we go back, identify another model for the hardware, and we break this. So this model becomes too busy. Oh, we need to break this down. We go back here and update this. And that's why this is a living document, and the architecture can go back and forth. The discussion, you can switch back and forth, and to have this focus on something. So the knowledge or the team, some of the domain design, driven design is bounded context. And one of the lens we look at the domain analysis to start to define subdomains. One of those ways, or filters or lens to look at the system from a certain angle, is who knows what. I have teams who are experienced working with this. I don't have this knowledge with the same knowledge that I'm building this, or this would be too big of a team. So there's business constraints that can reflect your design. Oh, this is too much. This should not belong to the same. we'll take this out. It will be a different model here. And we redraw the relations, and this will be business model, and maybe hardware model is separate, and it will have its own, maybe done with a different team. And as a team work in a component, I know the relations. So this contract outside of the component, this component, from this component point of view, these are my customers. And this relation, as we define it, are the entry point. So this will go this way. And I know this will work. Account management will not need this. The views will need to go into this model. And the app for sure will go to the transaction. We would have maybe UI, the op UI will need some of these screens if we decide to or not, so you can have this. And this is the kind of the discussion you would have here, is how to break in the relation between this and what do you call it. So a team working in this component understand the relation. My customers for this component, these are the customers, or primary and secondary actor, and this is the relation, what kind of API endpoints I would have, and this becomes my contract. I can create my contract testing. I start working with this component. Anybody who's working with other components here know what I'm providing, because we had this discussion as a team or a group of teams. Then we will come back and start breaking down. I can send the teams, I'm working in this model component, these are the endpoints I'm providing to you, or endpoints or communication, and we take it from there. All right, hopefully that was good for C4 model. We use it again for either discovery, the discovery mode for an existing system, or discussion around the future state, how it will look like. Sometimes you have both of them and start doing the roadmap from current to future state. As you define the future state, we come across existing domain analysis. Sometimes we switch to other tools to go to it. But this is a very tree-like architecture diagram, instead of having one big that's just very detailed too. So this is living documents for collaboration and to discuss, have a conversation around how the system would look like. And it's simpler, it doesn't have to be detailed. So when we did the coding, we did not do class level, it's just areas. As we start coding, we'll let the design emerge inside these, or we bring in something like the communication diagram tool that we had in another video. So hopefully that was good. It kind of went longer than what I usually like my videos to be, but I think it's worth it. It's very effective. If you have any questions, let me know, and we'll reach out on comment, or you'll find my Twitter in the video. Usually I put it in a text or something. So let me hear back from you. I really liked C4. I started doing this maybe for the last year. It has been helping me in both the discovery and structuring or discussion the future states of systems. And you see the both, how to make the transition to there, create that roadmap, either training, coaching, or actually start building system. So again, this is Ahmed. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you in another video. Thank you.